Hi, it's Mr. Pham again, and today we're going to look at SB pages 37 to SB38 from your Getting Ready for the Smarter Balance assessment book. Let's dive into this. Today we're going to be working on multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. So let's go over a few steps to remind ourselves or refresh what we know about multiplying fractions. Step 1, we should first convert our whole numbers and mixed numbers to fractions. Step 2, multiply across, cross cancel if it's possible. And the last thing, don't you forget to simplify. All right, let's dive into this. Look at the first question. Kayla walks 3 2/5 miles each day. Which of the following statement correctly describe how far she walks? Mark all that apply. Let's look at the first one. We have Kayla walks 14 2/5 miles in 4 days. We need to multiply our 3 2/5 by 4 to determine if this is true or not. Step 1, convert your whole numbers and mixed number into a fraction. First, we are going to multiply our denominator by our whole number. 5 times 3, 15. Then we're going to add our numerator. 15 plus 2 is going to be 17 over 5. Denominator stays the same. To write 4 as a fraction, we're just going to write 4 over 1. Since 4 divided by 1 is going to give me 4. I'm checking to see if I can cross cancel here, and at this point it's not possible. So let's go ahead and multiply across. We have 17 times 4. 7 times 4 will give me 28. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. So that gives me 68 over 5. Let's simplify by converting our improper fraction back to a mixed number. 5 will go into 6 one time. Bring that down, and now we have 18. 5 times 3 is 15, with the remainder of 3. That means my whole number is 13, numerator is 3, and denominator is 5. It does not match up with the 14 2/5, so this would be an incorrect statement. All right, let's look at the next one. Let me go ahead and erase what I have here to give myself some space. All right, and now we have Kayla walks 23 4/5 miles in 7 days. So this time we are going to multiply our 3 2/5 by 7. Earlier we explained to convert your mixed number into a fraction, and we remember that 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2 is 17. So we're going to have to do this repeatedly, so keep this number in mind. 3 2/5 is equivalent to 17/5. Okay, let's go ahead and convert our whole number into a fraction. Once again, it doesn't look like we are able to cross cancel here, so let's go ahead and multiply 17 by 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 4 is going to give me 11. We have 119 over 5. Let's go ahead and divide that. 5 goes into 11 2 times, gives me 10. Subtract that, bring down to 9, and that's going to be 3 with the remainder of 4. So we have 23 4/5, which matches statement B. Let's go ahead and mark that since it is true and grab our eraser here. And let's check for C. All right, C states Kayla walks 34 miles in 10 days. So this time we're going to take our 17/5 and multiply it by 10 over 1, since 10 over 1 will be equivalent to 10. So we have 17/5, which represents our 3 and 2/5, by 10 over 1. And here we can cross cancel. 5 goes into 5 one time. 10 divided by 5 will be 2. So here I can multiply 17 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. 2 times 1, 2, plus 1, 3. So now I have 34 over 1, which is equivalent to 34 miles. So let's mark C here, and let's check for the last statement. Kayla walks 102 and 2/5 miles in 31 days. So let's take our 17/5 and multiply that by 31 over 1. Doesn't look like we're able to cross cancel here, so let's go ahead and multiply our 31 by 17. 7 times 1, 7. 7 times 3, 21. Alright, mark my 0 for my tens place, or lay my egg, multiply outside. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 3, 3. And now let's add them up. I have 7, 2, 5. 527, okay, over 5. So that's 527 over 5. Let's go ahead and divide that now. 5 into 5 one time. Bring down your 2. 5 into 2 0 time. Bring down your 7. 5 goes into 27 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. Let's subtract that. So we have 105 with the numerator 2 and a denominator of 5, which does not match up D. So let's cross that out there. Moving on to number 2. The table shows how many hours some of the part-time employees at a toy store worked last week. Conrad worked for 6 and 2/3, Giovanni 9 1/2, and Sally 10 3/4. This week, Conrad worked 1 3/4 times longer than he did last week. Giovanni will work 1 1/3 times longer than he did last week, and Sally will work 2/3 the number of hours she worked last week. Match each employee's name to the number of hours he or she will work this week. How do we do this? We're going to multiply again, since they are working a certain number times what they did the previous week. Let's look at Conrad. For Conrad, he worked 6 2/3 last week, and this week he will be working 1 3/4 times that. So again, step 1 is to convert our mixed number into a fraction. First we multiply, then we will add. So let's chart that note here. First you multiply, then you add. 3 times 6, 18, plus 2 will give me 20 over 3, times 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. We have 7 over 4. Now let's look across to see if we have any flexibility of cross canceling here, and we do. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 20 divided by 4 will be 5. So that now we're ready to multiply across. 7 times 5 equals 35. 3 times 1 is 3. And let's go ahead and rename this as a mixed number. We have 35 divided by 3. 3 goes into 3 one time. Bring down your 5. And again. And here we have it. 5 minus 3 is 2. We have 11 2/3. Let's go ahead and match Conrad's sign with 11 2/3 there. And let's jump to the other side for Giovanni. We have Giovanni. He worked 9 1/2 hours. And this week he'll be working 1 1/3 times that amount. Let's go ahead and rename. 2 times 9, that's 18, plus 1 is 19. 19 over 2 times 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and the denominator is 3 here. Now, step 2, let's cross cancel. I notice that 4 and 2 are divisible of one another, so I could divide both by 2. 2 divided by 2, let's get some ink here. 2 divided by 2, 1 time. And 4 divided by 2 will be 2. Now I'm ready to multiply across. 19 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So that would give me 38 over 3. Now let's go ahead and rename that as a mixed number. 3 goes into 3 one time. Bring down your 8. 3 goes into 8 two times. 8 minus 6 will be 2. That's 12 and 2/3. We can go ahead and match that up over here. And finally, with Sally, we're just going to go ahead and mark the last option here. So that saves us some time. All right, number 3. For numbers 3a through 3d, select yes or no to indicate whether each equation is true. So it looks like all these all the fraction in this equation has already been renamed or are already beginning with fractions, so there's no conversion needed here. So we can go ahead and just multiply across. 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. 5 times 7 is 35. That does not match up to this here, so we are going to say no. Next one, 2 times 5 is 10. 9 times 3 is 27. Let's mark yes here. Next, 7 times 5, 35. 8 times 9, 72. That's also true. And the last one, 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 5 is 10. This is incorrect. Moving on to the next page. Jessica rides the bus 8 4/5 miles each day. Let's go ahead and circle our key numbers and box some keywords there. Which statement correctly describes how far she rides the bus? Mark all that apply, which means there could be more than one answer here. All right. So this question is very similar to the first one, where we're going to look at each statement and determine whether it's a true or a false statement. Jessica rides the bus 35 1/5 miles in 4 days. So they're saying since it's in 4 days, we take the number of how many miles she rides each day and multiply that by the number of days in the statement. So we have 8 4/5 times 4. Step 1, we are going to convert our mixed numbers and whole numbers into a fraction. So first we're going to multiply, then we're going to add to rename our mixed number here. 5 times 8, which is 40, plus 4 will give me 44 over 5. To write a whole number into a fraction, we're just going to write that number above 1. Unfortunately, I'm unable to cross cancel here, so we need to multiply across, and it will be 44 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17. I have 176 over 5. And now let's rename that to a mixed number. So let's take our 176 and divide that by 5. 5 goes into 17 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Oops, let's subtract here. 17 minus 15 is going to be 2. Bring down your 6 here. 5 goes into 26. 5 times, that would give me 25. So here we have it, 35 1/5, which matches up with the statement. She does ride the bus for 35 1/5 miles in 4 days. Let's go ahead and erase this. Oh, before we do that, let's keep note that 8 4/5 is equivalent to 44 over 5. Okay, let's go ahead and erase this to give ourselves some more space to work on the next problem. So the next statement says, Jessica rides the bus 61 4/5 miles in 7 days. So this time we're going to take that 8 4/5 and multiply that by 7. Again, we're going to rename Looking at the notes I have above on the left side, it is going to be 44 over 5 times 7 over 1. Checking to see if I can cross cancel here, and it's not possible, so let's go ahead and multiply 44 by 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 again, 28 plus 2 will give me 30. Now I have 308 divided by 5. Let's go ahead and rename this improper fraction into a mixed number. 30, okay. 30 divided by 5, 6 times. Bring down your 8. 8 divided by 5, 1 time. And that would give me a remainder of 3. So we have 61 and 3/5, which does not match up to 61 4/5. So let's put an X on that or cross that statement out. All right, let's jump to C. Once again, I'm going to erase partially, since I can keep that 8 and 4/5, since that's the number we are going to continue multiplying. And this time we're going to multiply by 10. So this time we are going to be able to cross cancel. We have 5 and 10 here. 5 divided by 5 will be 1. 10 divided by 5 will be 2. 44 times 2 is 88 over 1. That would give me 88, which makes this statement true. Let's look at D. Once again, I'm just going to erase half of this and keep the first part of the problem, which is going to be 44 over 5 times, this time multiply it by 25. So it's going to be 44/5 times 25 over 1. And here we can cross cancel. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 5 will be 5. Let's go ahead and multiply 44 by 5. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2 is going to give me 22 over 1, which is going to be 220, which does not match the 218 and 2/5. Moving on to number 5. The table shows how many bags of canned goods each class collected during the first week of a food drive. 4th grade collected 3 1/2, 5th grade collected 2 3/4, and 6th grade collected 3 1/4. The 4th grade class, next week, the 4th grade class hoped to collect 1 1/3 times as many as they did from the first week. The 5th grade class hopes to collect 1 3/4 times as much. And the 6th grade class hopes to collect 1 1/2 times as much as they did. Match each class to the number of bags of canned goods they hope to collect next week. All right, so let's start off with our 4th grade class here. We have 3 1/2, and we're going to multiply that by 1 1/3, which they hope to collect this time around. And again, the first step is to rename our mixed number into a fraction. First you multiply, then you add. 2 times 3 is going to give me 6 plus 1 is 7. I have 7 over 2. 3 times 1, 3 plus 1 will give me 4. I have 4 over 3. Here I can cross cancel. 2 divided by 2 is 1 time. 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. Multiply across. 7 times 2, that will give me 14. 1 times 3 will give me 3. Let's go ahead and rename this back to a mixed number. 3 goes into 14 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. That will give me a remainder of 2. So we have 4 2/3. 4th grade will have 4 2/3. Moving on to the next example. Let's see, I do have some space here, so there's no need to erase. Let's go to 5th grade. 5th grade collected 2 3/4. And next week they hope to collect 1 3/4 more, or times more. So let's go ahead and multiply these two numbers. First, we are going to multiply, then we're going to add in order to convert our mixed number to our fraction. First, we multiply, then we add. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is going to give me 11 over 4 times 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is going to give me 7 over 4. So we are unable to cross cancel here. Let's just go ahead and multiply across. 11 times 7 is going to be 77. 4 times 4 is 16. Time to rename this here. 16. All right. 77 will, let's see, divided by 16. That's going to be about 4 here. So if I go ahead and multiply to check my math, 6 times 4 is going to be 24. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. So here we have 64. And when you subtract 7 minus 4, that would give me 3. 7 minus 1 is going to give me 7 minus 6 is going to give me 1, which is 13. Since the remainder is smaller or less than the divisor, it is just right. So we have 4 and 13 over 16, which matches the mixed number above. Finally, that leads 6th grade to be 4 and 7/8. Thanks again for watching. Until tomorrow, have a good day.